How are snowflakes made? Hi, welcome to Curious Kids Every Day. I'm Josh. How are you doing today? It's so good to hear from you. Hey, did you know that winter is about to start? Do you know what day it is that winter starts? It's December 21st, less than a week from now. It sure doesn't feel like fall outside anymore, does it? But it is still fall for another week or so. Around here, it's been pretty wet and cold lately. But that's okay, because once winter gets here, that means something really beautiful might happen soon. Do you know what it is? Yep, it might snow. Do you like playing in the snow? Do you have snowball fights with your family? We do. Around where we live, we usually get one or maybe two big snows each winter. That's about it. But I was born in Florida, so I'm grateful for any snow that I get. What does snow look like to you? Kind of white, puffy looking things. Did you know that every single snowflake is unique? Isn't that wild? And it's even crazier when you think about just how many snowflakes are falling from the sky at one time. Each one of those is unique. If you got a microscope out and looked at each one, they would all look different. Have you ever wondered how snow is made? What is it? And why does it only snow in the winter? I was thinking about this question because I got an email from a curious kid named Clara. Clara wondered, how are snowflakes formed? Snowflakes start their journey. Where do you think they start their journey? Yep, up in the clouds. Clouds are full of tiny drops of water and tiny pieces of ice floating in the air. To make a snowflake, the air inside the cloud has to be cold, really cold. When the temperature is below freezing, water doesn't stay liquid for long. Instead, it turns into ice. Now, inside a cold cloud, there are tiny particles floating around that are much too small to see. They can be little bits of dust or pollen or even tiny pieces of salt from the ocean. When water vapor touches one of these particles, it can freeze onto it. And that frozen starting point is called an ice crystal. Now, once the ice crystal forms, more water vapor sticks to it and freezes too. The crystal begins to grow outward. It grows in a pattern. But to see these patterns, you would need a microscope because snowflakes are really small. A typical snowflake is only about 1 to 5 millimeters wide. Basically, the size of the tip of a pencil or a grain of rice. Water molecules snap together in a very specific way when they freeze. Because of the shape of water molecules, ice naturally grows with 6 sides. That's why snowflakes almost always have 6 arms or points. As the snowflake floats through the cloud, it keeps changing. Sometimes the air around it is colder, and sometimes it's a little warmer. And sometimes there's a lot of moisture in the air, and sometimes there's very little. Each of these changes affects how the snowflake grows. If one arm grows slightly faster than the others, the snowflake becomes uneven. That's one big reason snowflakes look different from each other. No two snowflakes take the exact same path through the cloud, so no two grow in exactly the same way. Eventually, the snowflake becomes heavy enough that it can't float anymore. Gravity pulls it down toward the ground. If the air stays cold all the way down, the snowflake keeps its shape and lands as snow. But if the air warms up before it reaches the ground, what do you think that snowflake turns into? Yep, it melts and turns into rain instead. That's why snow mostly falls in winter, when the air from the clouds to the ground stay cold enough to keep it frozen. Now, I remember one fall here. I remember it was Halloween and it was snowing really hard. So it can snow in the fall, even in a place like Tennessee, but, usually it's in the winter. And isn't that crazy, too, to think that even if it's not that cold down here, it might be colder up in the sky, and so there might be snowflakes up in the sky, but by the time they get here, it's rain. So every snowflake starts tiny, grows into a six-sided shape, and takes a one-of-a-kind journey through the sky before landing right in front of you. In a typical snow cloud, there can be thousands to millions of snowflakes or ice crystals in just 1 cubic meter of cloud. A cubic meter is about the size of a large refrigerator. So, in the space of a large refrigerator, there could be millions of snowflakes. And how much bigger than a refrigerator is a cloud? Now you can imagine how many snowflakes there are in the sky in a cloud when it's cold and it's winter and it's gonna be snowing. Isn't that crazy? And each one of those snowflakes looks different. You put them all under a microscope, every single one would look different than the last one. That is just amazing. Okay, let's have a quick quiz. What tiny thing does a snowflake usually start growing on? Usually a tiny particle like dust or pollen. And how many sides do snowflakes usually have? They usually have 6 sides. And what pulls a snowflake down to the ground? That would be gravity. And what happens if a snowflake melts on the way down to the ground? Yep, it turns into rain. Let's play true or false. True or false? Snowflakes start as frozen water vapor in clouds. That is true. True or false? Snowflakes grow in perfect circles. Nope, that's false. True or false? All snowflakes fall straight down in the same way. That's false too. Would you rather snowflakes taste like ice cream or snowflakes be made of Play-Doh? Well, if snowflakes were made of Play-Doh, then snowball fights would be a lot more painful. So I'm going to go with ice cream. All right, let's play a few rounds of What Am I today? What am I? I float really high. I hold lots of water. And I help snowflakes begin. What am I? I am a cloud. All right, what am I? I pull things downward. I keep you on the ground. And I make snowflakes fall. What am I? That would be gravity. You know what one of the best feelings is? Waking up in the morning and noticing that it's really bright outside. So you look out the window and you see white everywhere. Snow is one of the most beautiful things about Earth and its design. And now that it's almost winter, I'm looking forward to the 1 or 2 big snows we get before it starts to warm up again in a few months. Hey, thanks for learning about snowflakes with me today. What kind of question do you think we'll ask tomorrow on Curious Kids Every Day? I can't wait to find out, so until then, keep asking questions and stay curious, kids. And we've got some birthdays today, 3 of them in fact. Philip from Alabama is turning 2. Happy birthday, Philip. Amari is from Texas, and Amari is turning 4. Happy birthday, Amari. And Coco is from South Carolina, and Coco is turning 1. Happy birthday, Coco. Happy birthday, Philip, Amari, and Coco. Big day for birthdays. To all the grown-ups listening, if your curious kid wants their birthday mentioned on the show, please visit supportcuriouskids.com and join the Curious Kids Club. That's supportcuriouskids.com. See you tomorrow.